service or love or the Buddha or these enlightened aspects of self. The logical part of the brain, neocortex, remember? Where we are rational. Chiron, the centaur, was an animal, but he was a teacher. He taught all the gods' children. It's the part of you that tames all those little beast gods that live inside of you. It's his way. So in the higher chakras, we tend to have more spirit, service, compassion sort of energies. And remember when we did the class on elements? Okay. First chakra, take a guess.
Fire.
Earth. Root. It's the root chakra. Earth. Second chakra, take a guess.
Water.
Water. Amniotic fluid. The fluids of semen. Third chakra,
Air.
Yeah, it's fire.
fire. Because what happens when you eat food?
You get acidosis.
That's a third chakra issue thinking real bad. You want to know when it's acidosis, what that means psychologically? When you have too much acidity, which in functional nutrition they often say, ironically this is another class, but in functional nutrition they often say that when you have acidity, it's really not hyperacidity, but actually you have less gastric acid. But in psychology, in the psyche, in the subconscious, you need, hay algo que no te puedes tragar, there's something you can't fucking swallow, that you need more and more freaking juice to break that motherfucker down. I guess she has a name. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. So that's the third chakra issue. Someone is taking her power, someone she can't swallow, someone who she needs extra freaking acidosis to discriminate and discernment. And let me tell you that if that person is your mother, that is hard as fuck. Because your mother and your father are supposed to what?
Nurture, protect.
Exactly. And that's the biggest bullshit we were fed. Some of us had that, but sure a lot of us didn't. Marsha's not here, but she'll tell you, damn, I was thrown out at 12 years old. You know. So this notion is very difficult to discriminate and discern. That I have a mother or a father that can harm me, but I'm forced to live with her? And have my child raised under her roof? Fuck, you're gonna have acidosis. Of course! It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. How do you swallow that? And hence these religions and philosophies that believe in karma and things like that, so that you have some explanation, and that's you to believe what you believe. I can't tell you that. Because who the hell knows if it's true or not. But we need some explanation, because our higher mind, our rational spirit self, needs to know why. Right? Why did he cheat me? Why did I fail? Why did I not get the job? We can't handle.
I always want to know why.
Of course.
Once I know why, I feel better.
Right. You feel better, and then you can go into your beast self and plot the revenge. Your Chiron connects to your Shiva, or your Kali, and says, I'm going to destroy that bitch. Okay. So we have the upper chakras. Let me tell you about the snakes. Okay. So the snakes we talked about, besides being healing medicine, and that was one of the beginning sources of homeopathic. Does everyone know what homeopathic medicine is? Homeopathy.
Well, homeostasis is like neutral balance.
No, but this is homeopathy. Homeostasis is the purpose of the body, so to speak, to maintain a balance. Homeopathy is a medicine that the synopsis is like cures like. I don't know if I have any in my purse.
while you're searching for that, you mentioned an author earlier, Stanislas Grof?
Stanislav Grof.
Oh,
Grof. Great book called Spiritual Emergency. This isn't what I wanted to show you. So I don't have any of the homeopathy, but if you go to Whole Foods or any really pharmacy, you'll see these little vials that are like blue, and they have these tiny, tiny little pellets. They're sugar pellets, and inside of them they have the medicine. And what it is they've taken the poison and they dilute it and dilute it and dilute it and dilute it and dilute it, where like there's practically no poison left, and it's medicine. It's the concept of like cures like. Anyone know about Ayurveda? Ayurveda is the medicine of India. Ayurveda treats different. Ayurveda, which is part of it's the sister science to yoga, treats based on the elements. And so if you have too much earth, you give water. You have too much air, you give earth, that kind of stuff. So it's like you do different. But homeopathy, the poison was the medicine. And they're called tinctures, the liquids. This is a Bach flower remedy, but basically it's the concept of. This is Bach flower. This isn't like the original homeopathy. I don't have the vials. And those vials, these are like tinctures. That's what these droppers are called. Those little pellets, they look like tiny, tiny, tiny little sugar pellets. They actually have the energy of the poison in that sugar pellet. It's like energy medicine. So it's part of what this is. I'm going to tell you about the nadis in a second. So the word nadi is a Sanskrit word that comes from yoga and Hindu and Ayurvedic philosophy. And what happens is we have these nadis up and down our body. I think the book says that there's like 72,000 of them. But the major ones are these two. And they're called the Ida and the Pingala. Just for the Spanish speakers, guess it. The right is which one? Take a guess. The Pingala is the right side. Okay? So it's believed to come on the right side of the body. And I always mess this up. And my partner, when I teach this, she always corrects me, so I'm sure I'm wrong now, but I'll say it and then you guys can read it in the book. It comes up the right side of the body and out the left nostril, but maybe it's the right nostril because I never remember, but anyway, it's the right side of the Pingala. And then the Ida is the snake that's in the left side and comes out the right nostril. But I might have swapped the nostrils because I never can remember. The point is that the Ida is the snake on the left and the Pingala is the snake on the right. And at the intersection, what do we have? The chakras. And in Western medicine, what did she say we have at each intersection? A gland. So wherever there is a chakra, there is a gland. There's organs. If your client has a problem in an organ or a gland, they have a problem with that chakra. You go there to your question. You can give them color therapy. You can go to the needs. It's all going to line up. So you have earth at the first. You have water at the second. You have fire at the third. This is called Agni. There's a god called Agni, and he is the god of fire. And it is believed that in order to discriminate and discern the nutrition that you eat, you need fire, the element, because fire is the element of what? Do you guys know this symbol?
Transformation.
Transformation. Fire is transformation. Anyone been to New York? Anyone been to Rockefeller Center? Anyone see that huge gold statue in Rockefeller Center? Who is it? Don't Google it.
No, I have a picture.
No, there's a gold statue in Rockefeller Center. And he's like this.
Oh, it is.
Starts with a P.
Oh,
Prometheus.
I was gonna say Prometheus. Damn, I was like,
Who wants to know the story of Prometheus?
I do, he's fire.
Okay, he is fire. Okay, so Zeus was a motherfucker. And the gods lived where? In Greek mythology?
Olympus.
In Olympus, okay? So the gods were planning your fate, communicating with the underworld, bullshitting your ass, trying to get you screwed over.
picture for a person.
Is that? No. In Rockefeller Center? No, that's not it. No, that is, it's like a mix of Zeus and like the water bearer that we talked about yesterday. No, it's right in Rockefeller Center. Google just Rockefeller Center Prometheus and you'll see the statue. I have one on my phone. I posted it on my Instagram. That one.
Oh, you're talking about the gold statue?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, what happened? Prometheus took pity on humans. And he saw us down here struggling. And who did the gods send to really fuck us up? No, Pandora. You know Pandora's box? So that bitch came here with her sexy orange second chakra self, and she had a little box. And they told her, don't open the box. And what do you do when someone tells you not to do something? You fucking do it. Of course they wanted her to fucking open it. She opens it, and all the shit of humanity, all the lower nature, the envy, the jealousy, all the deadly sins, all the crap that we go through, murder and thievery, all the shit, is in that box. But at the bottom of the box is hope. And that's the last thing that leaves a human. Once you've lost your hope, you're fucked. Okay, that's another story, but I wanted to just throw that in there because Prometheus, knowing that the gods sent Pandora here, and we were struggling, and Zeus was a motherfucker, because Zeus, we were whole beings. Like in the Hindu pantheon, we used to be, as legend says, whole, masculine and feminine. But Zeus said those fuckers are gonna suffer. And he took his lightning rod and he sliced us in half and he made you a woman so you would have to go find your man, your masculine part. So that's why everyone's looking for the fucking soulmate. When it's in you, ha ha ha, joke's on us. But Zeus wanted to fuck with us because he was just that way. Because they were gods. They were the American gods. You have to see that show. They weren't God. There ain't no fucking perfect mystical being. They were motherfuckers looking down and saying, ha ha ha. Okay? So, Prometheus feels bad. And he's like, what can these human beings have? They need fire, warmth, to cook their food, to feel safe, and to change from their beastly self to their human self. The element of fire, if that's the one that's gone, what finger do you think this one is? The fire finger. That's why we love, yeah. It's the fire. It's the fire element. Okay, space or ether, air, fire, water, earth. Just like the toes. So if someone comes in with a broken finger, or they say, damn, I broke my nail today, or my toe, right there, boom, you know it's an issue with that element. You can tie it to the chakra, and now Jennifer has her whole session for herself. It connects. Everything is one. It all connects. You just have to learn the shit. So Prometheus says, I'm going to come and I'm going to steal the fire from the gods and bring it to the humans. And that's why in that picture, in that statue, he's holding the fire. Well, Zeus was pissed. And Zeus said, as a punishment, mind you, these are gods, they are immortal, they live forever. That's the spirit part of us, okay? Higher nature. He's like, I'm going to attach you to a rock. And I'm going to have a buitre, a vulture, eat your liver every day. It'll heal at night, and every day the buitre, the vulture, is going to eat your liver. And in Spanish, there's a saying, ese de hígado. That guy's like a liver. Like, he's like, because it's like the liver, like, ugh. So when people have liver shit, now liver regenerates. That's why at night it would heal and the vultures would come again. Liver issues have to do with like grief, have to do with amargura, bitterness. People that have liver stuff, okay? Sound like someone you know? Jaundice. When babies have jaundice, find that story of bitterness in that pregnancy, in that conception, in that relationship. There's got to be something. Because if the baby is modeling the unsolved issues and the repressed shit of the parents, yeah, you're thinking of your kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in here had fucking jaundice, and all your kids had fucking jaundice. Hell yeah. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean that it's huge and major, but it could be something that the child was metabolizing your grief or your thing. And one of the major things of grief with pregnancy is when it's over. When you give birth, that's it. The focus is on the baby. You're a fucking peon. No one gives a shit. No one holds a fucking door for you. When you're pregnant, people may be a little nicer. Certain men like women that are pregnant. You get hit on. But then you got the baby, and it's all the baby, and the people come to visit the baby. They don't give a shit if you've slept, if you've eaten. You're freaking. In India, the mother and the baby are taken care of for 40 days. Massage, head to toe. You need to move to India. 40 days, the baby and the mom, so that there's no stress. In India, in the Vedas, the ancient texts, it talks about the baby in the pregnancy, month to month, what mom needs to do. Every day after birth, these massages, it's a whole different world. A whole different world. These things are written. Those are considered their scriptures. The Vedas are their scriptures, their Bible. And it is detailed. So the mother and the baby, those 40 days, la cuarentena, that a lot of us Latin people, we don't fucking abide by that shit. You're at the mall 2 days in with your fucking kid. You're not supposed to leave your fucking house. What are you gonna fucking do? You gotta go to Publix. You ain't got no massage in your ass. I mean, what are you gonna do? So, I don't know how I got on that. What was I talking about? The liver. So when there's liver stuff, there's oftentimes a lot of grief. And bless you.
Thank you.
So that spoke to you. Your body was, your Ida and your Pingala were having a response to the liver. They're like, get out of here. So the vulture would come and eat and eat and eat the liver, and it would regenerate, and that was Prometheus. Now, 2-second story, I think I might have already told you, but just to give you the link to Chiron, when Chiron decides that he doesn't want to be immortal, because Chiron was not born immortal. Why? Who is Chiron metaphor, representative of? It's not in your notes, it's in your head. Who is Chiron representative of? Us, human beings. Are we immortal?
No.
Our flesh is not. It is believed our soul is. When a god is half human and half animal and half human, they're called demigods. They're not more immortal. Chiron was not immortal. Zeus made him immortal, and then he got stabbed in the leg. Remember that? So now Chiron is like fucked because he's got this pain forever, the wound that doesn't heal that all of you have, that you're all going to see in your chart. And what does he say to Zeus? He says, Zeus, I found the answer to my own problem. Every one of you, third chakra, has the answer to your problem. Where? Inside! Speak it up! Yell it! Yes! You have it inside! You may not know it yet, because it's layered and layered of crap. Who cares? It's in there. You'll get there. Or not. I don't know. But it's there. And so Chiron said to Zeus, I found my own solution. I don't want to be immortal. I want to trade places with Prometheus. And Zeus, because he was so grateful to Chiron, because of all the teaching he had done to all his kids, said, okay. So Prometheus and Chiron were able to trade places. Chiron got attached to the rock. The vultures ate him. He was no longer immortal, and he died. This is why the flesh dies, but the spirit supposedly lives on. This is what we bury. There's a saying in the Bible, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, bury what is the earth's and keep what is God's. Give Caesar what is Caesar's, give God what is God. Caesar wanted the taxes, the money, the earth, the lower chakra. These are all metaphors in these books. Metaphysics is all metaphor. And Caesar is Caesar, you give the body what you need. Buddha had to give the fucking body the rest. But the spirit got the enlightenment or whatever the hell. That's what all of these stories are. They're just metaphor, people. Because they didn't want you to get enlightenment. The ancients and the people that were in charge wanted to trick you, just like Zeus. They're not your friend. Okay, so Chiron dies, and guess what happens to Prometheus? She's just like, what? What happened to Prometheus? Zeus is like, fine, you're gonna swap, but you're gonna have to wear a ring on your finger for the rest of your fucking life to remind yourself of what you did. And that is why promise ring, wedding ring, it's a life fucking sentence. Being married. And you're just like, yeah, sure, kill me now. Where's the vulture that can eat me?
But now there's a prenup. Fuck it.
It's just a metaphor.
No, yeah.
That when you get married, it's like a life sentence. And we all know, obviously, but these are ancient stories.
I would never have kids and I would never get married.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
never
have
is
kids.
a zero.
Yeah,
That means there's a major story here. And marriage and kids and stuff like that is a fourth chakra issue and a second chakra issue. Now you had a baby, so you work some of that second chakra stuff, but they're still there, okay? So these nadis or serpents that intersect go like this and breathe. Do you feel the warmth coming out of one nostril more than the other? You have a broken nose?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's a sixth chakra issue. So you've got a fifth and a sixth chakra issue. Okay. And you would know more than me because I'm not a doctor. But every so often, your body switches and you breathe out of one nostril. So in yoga, there are different techniques to breathing where you swap the nostrils, where you hold the nostrils, and it's to strengthen that all of the energy. We call this prana in yoga, it's called chi in Chinese medicine, okay? can strengthen and go up and down and up and down. That's one of the reasons why you're doing breath work or pranayama as one of the stages of yoga, is so that this energy flows and it unblocks whatever blocks you have in your chakras. There's a whole system of a belief, of a lifestyle. Okay, so when you go like this, every, I don't know how long, you switch on and off because you're servicing, so to speak, the right and the left and the right and the left of the body so that there's homeostasis, so that there's balance. Okay? So at that intersection where the chakras are, there's a chakra, a gland, and organs. So even with your extremities, your arms are here with your fourth chakra. When there's arm issues, is it a coincidence that the only place that I might have metastasis is my left arm? No. No. These are not accidents. Okay? What do we wear on our left finger? And I had to take that off. And that pain traveled. So even if it doesn't metastasize, there are things there. I was hospitalized in December on the trip where my husband and I decided to split, where I called it my emotional heart attack, and I'm going to bring the doctor the medical things, because I think that experience, they diagnosed me with some neuropathy or something, had to do with the re-onset of the cancer. I'm pretty sure, because I've done my research. These aren't accidents. I also didn't treat myself. I didn't follow the Buddha. I didn't eat my rice. I didn't give Caesar what was Caesar's. I was God. I was fucking Jafar. I was going to do it my way. Okay, I had my reasons. I'm fine with that. But there's levels to it. And it's not an accident that this is where it is. My heart hurts. So we have to see this in our clients so we can piece the things together. So now we have our third chakra. That is the end of the lower nature. I have a saying. This is one of my Francisisms. Divinity through your humanity. This is your higher nature. This is your lower nature. That is a statement that I say. Develop your divinity through your humanity. Because your humanity is, yes, it's your heart and your divinity and your service to others and love and compassion and all that great stuff. But it needs your lower nature. They have to be on board. And your sun, your yellow, bright light, like it said in the quote, like it says in the sun, like it indicates, is in your lower nature. Your third chakra is in your lower nature. It's in your Chiron animal beast self. It's not up here. When Jesus said, love thy neighbor as thyself, he didn't say, forget yourself and love thy neighbor. And a lot of Christians believe this. There's this great book, it's called Boundaries. It's written by some Christian or some pastor or something. And it's specifically written for people that are devout Christians. Buy it for your mother. They ain't selfless. That's bullshit. They get sick and sick and sick because they're serving others and they keep defying themselves. You're not supposed to defy yourself. You serve yourself and you serve the other. So I call this the bridge. There's a bridge from the lower nature to the higher nature. In astrology and in mythology, Chiron is often called the rainbow bridge. Not an accident. We need a bridge between the third and the fourth chakra. Most people want a bridge between the second chakra and the fourth chakra. I want to forget that I'm an animal and I just want to serve the world. And I say,